Welcome back to Global News, your go-to source for the biggest updates from the USA and across the globe. Today, we are counting down the most impactful news stories you need to know right now. Before we jump in, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you never miss a world update. Let's get started with number 10.
Today, first news. US-Israel versus Iran war. Shocking astrological timeline revealed. The escalating conflict between the United States, Israel, and Iran is creating global economic instability. Astrological interpretations suggest planetary alignments, particularly Saturn and Mars, between April 11th and May 11th, 2026, indicate a volatile phase. Experts highlight Kapar Yoga from late June to August as a period for potential escalation. According to readings, February 14th to July 3rd, 2026, remains turbulent, potentially involving advanced drone technology. However, stabilization may begin after July 2026, marking a shift toward diplomatic negotiations. Historical prophecies from Nostradamus and Baba Vanga also point to 2026 as a year of significant global upheaval. While tensions may ease later in the year, achieving lasting peace remains a complex challenge as the world watches these shifting dynamics. Next news. J.D. Vance slams EU interference in Hungarian election. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance lashed out at disgraceful European Union interference during a visit to Budapest, labeling it the worst example of foreign meddling. Supporting Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, Vance praised the Hungarian leader as a key ally in defending Western civilization. He accused Brussels bureaucrats of trying to destroy Hungary's economy and energy independence to undermine Orbán's leadership. The visit comes just days before a critical election, where Orbán faces a tough challenge from Peter Magyar. While Vance criticized the EU, Magyar issued his own warning against foreign intervention, stating Hungarian history is not written in Washington or Brussels. The growing alliance underscores deep ties between the MAGA movement and Orbán's nationalist policies amid escalating regional tensions. Next news. Gunfight near Israeli consulate recalls Turkey's history of militant attacks. An attacker was killed in a gun battle, with police outside the building housing the Israeli consulate in Istanbul on Tuesday. This latest incident adds to a long list of major militant attacks in Turkey. Recent tragedies include a December 2025 gunfight in Yalova that killed 3 officers and 6 Islamic State militants, and a September 2025 attack in Izmir. Turkey has faced persistent threats from various groups, including the PKK and Islamic State. High-profile incidents include the 2024 aerospace firm attack in Ankara and the 2022 Istanbul Avenue bombing. Historical data shows a devastating peak in 2016, with mass casualty events at Istanbul's airport, a nightclub, and a soccer stadium, highlighting the nation's ongoing struggle against domestic and international terrorism. Next news. Massive explosion at Panama Canal's Bridge of the Americas leaves 1 dead. A massive explosion under the Bridge of the Americas has killed 1 person and injured 2, temporarily closing the vital crossing over the Panama Canal. Smoke and flames engulfed the area after a fuel tanker truck exploded in La Boca, beneath the 5,400-foot-long structure. Over 75 firefighting units and 45 vehicles were deployed to combat the blaze. Fire Chief Victor Alvarez confirmed 1 worker died, while 2 firefighters sustained minor injuries. The Panama Canal Authority reopened a logistics corridor at 4 a.m. on April 7th to restore mobility. Despite the incident, canal operations continue as normal. The waterway has recently seen increased transit due to high fuel prices and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Next news. India and St. Kitts and Nevis deepen ties with new High Commission in Delhi. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met with Foreign Minister Denzel Douglas on Tuesday to mark a diplomatic milestone, the opening of the High Commission of St. Kitts and Nevis in New Delhi. Meeting at Hyderabad House, the leaders discussed development projects, health cooperation, digital capacities, and disaster response. Jaishankar emphasized the shared values of democracy and the historic struggle against colonialism that bind the 2 nations. India reaffirmed its commitment to supporting small island developing states, SAIDs, against climate change through technology transfer and renewable energy. Key initiatives discussed include a lima bean processing project and a new framework for quick impact community projects. As St. Kitts and Nevis assumes the CARICOM chairmanship, both nations pledged continued collaboration on global health security and digital governance. Next news. NASA releases historic Earthset photo during record-breaking Artemis II mission. NASA released a historic Earthset image on Tuesday, capturing Earth dipping below the lunar horizon 57 years after the iconic Apollo 8 Earthrise shot. Captured by the Artemis II crew during a record-setting lunar flyby, the mission reached a maximum distance of 252,756 miles from Earth, surpassing the 1970 Apollo 13 record by over 4,000 miles. The crew, including NASA astronauts Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Canadian Jeremy Hansen, has completed their lunar observations and begun the journey home. Despite a planned brief communications blackout while passing behind the moon, the Orion spacecraft remains on a steady, free return trajectory. The 10-day mission is expected to conclude with a splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Next news. Tottori Governor Shinji Hirai vows to strengthen ties with India. Tottori Governor Shinji Hirai has pledged to build a robust relationship with India, prioritizing people-to-people connections. Drawing from his experience in municipal diplomacy, Hirai highlighted the prefecture's growing partnership with Odisha. Key initiatives include human resource exchanges with the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology and business missions organized by the Sun in India Association. Collaborations extend into various sectors, such as environmental technology and healthcare, with R0 Inc. signing an MOU on endoscope technology. Additionally, Tottori is exploring the export of vegan-certified Japanese sake to India. Governor Hirai's philosophy emphasizes that municipal alliances are essential for global stability. Interestingly, he noted that Tottori is Japan's top curry-consuming prefecture, further symbolizing its cultural affinity with India. Next news. U.S. hits military targets on Kharg Island. Vance maintains strategic consistency. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance confirmed on Tuesday that recent military strikes on Iran's Kharg Island do not signal a shift in American strategy. A U.S. official informed Reuters that the operation targeted specific military sites, intentionally avoiding oil infrastructure to prevent global energy disruptions. The strikes occurred in the early morning hours, focusing on locations previously identified by intelligence. Speaking from Budapest, Vance stated that the Trump administration remains confident in reaching a negotiated settlement. President Donald Trump is demanding that Iran forswear nuclear weapons and reopen the critical Strait of Hormuz. Vance emphasized that energy targets remain off-limits unless negotiations fail, maintaining a firm stance while pushing for a diplomatic breakthrough by the established deadline. Next news. One killed in armed attack on Israeli consulate in Istanbul. A violent confrontation erupted Tuesday as 3 assailants opened fire on police stationed outside the Israeli consulate in Istanbul. Turkish officials confirmed 1 attacker was killed, while 2 others, identified as brothers Onur and Enes C., were wounded and captured. 2 police officers sustained minor injuries during the shootout in the Levant business district. Interior Minister Mustafa Chifti stated 1 suspect has links to a religious extremist group. The gunman, armed with long-barreled weapons, reportedly traveled from Izmit in a rented vehicle. No Israeli diplomats were present during the assault, as the mission had previously been vacated due to security concerns. International leaders, including the U.S. ambassador, condemned the attack, praising the swift response of Turkish security forces. Next news. Fuel price shock sparks widespread protests across Pakistan's Sindh province. Widespread demonstrations erupted across Sindh, as citizens and political activists took to the streets in Karachi, Hyderabad, Sukkur, and Jacobabad to protest soaring fuel prices and rising inflation. In Sukkur, the Sindh United Party, SUP, staged a striking protest where participants donned burial shrouds and observed a symbolic hunger strike. SUP leader Aidan Jagirani criticized a minor 80 Pakistani rupees price reduction, following a massive 137 Pakistani rupees per liter hike, calling the move misleading. Protest leaders from Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI, highlighted that fuel has reached 378 Pakistani rupees per liter, severely impacting household economies. In Karachi, labor organizations condemned policies linked to international financial institutions, demanding wage increases and the removal of petroleum taxes to provide immediate public relief.